Hey there, science fans! Have you ever seen something that made you question your own eyes? Like a magic trick, but for your brain? That's an optical illusion. Optical illusions are like puzzles for your peepers. They make us see things that aren't really there, or not see things that are. It's all about how our brains interpret the information our eyes send. Get ready to dive into the amazing world of optical illusions, where seeing is not always believing. We'll explore how these visual tricks work and why they fool us. Are you ready for a wild ride? Let's go! Our brains are amazing. They process tons of information every second, but sometimes they take shortcuts. Optical illusions exploit these shortcuts. See, our brains rely on patterns and past experiences to make sense of the world. When we encounter something unusual, our brains try to fit it into a familiar category. This can lead to some pretty funny misinterpretations. For example, a straight line might appear curved, or two identical objects might seem different sizes. It's like your brain is playing a game of guess what I see, and sometimes it guesses wrong. Let's take a look at some famous optical illusions that have been puzzling people for centuries. These visual tricks have fascinated scientists, artists, and the general public alike, challenging our perception and understanding of reality. One of the most well-known illusions is the Müller-Lyer illusion. This illusion has been studied extensively since it was first introduced by Franz Karl Müller-Lyer in 1889. It features two lines with arrows on the ends. One line has arrows pointing inwards, while the other has arrows pointing outwards. This simple yet perplexing design continues to baffle viewers. Even though both lines are the same length, the one with inward-pointing arrows appears shorter. This phenomenon occurs because our brains interpret the angles of the arrows as cues for depth and distance. Another classic is the Ponzo illusion. Named after the Italian psychologist Mario Ponzo, who first demonstrated it in 1911, this illusion plays with our perception of size and distance. This one shows two converging lines, like railroad tracks disappearing into the distance. The converging lines create a sense of perspective, making objects appear to change size based on their position. Two horizontal lines are placed between the converging lines, one higher than the other. This setup tricks our brains into thinking the higher line is farther away. Even though they're the same length, the higher line appears longer because our brains interpret it as being farther away. This illusion highlights how context and background can influence our perception. These illusions demonstrate how our brains use context and perspective to make judgments about size and distance. By studying these visual tricks, researchers gain insights into the complex processes behind human perception and cognition. Optical illusions remind us that what we see is not always what is truly there, challenging us to question and explore the fascinating workings of our minds. Have you ever seen a dot disappear right before your eyes? No, it's not magic. It's the Troxler effect, and it's a great example of how our brains filter out unchanging information. To experience the Troxler effect, try this. Stare at the image above without moving your eyes. After a short while, the dot will seem to disappear. This happens because our brains are wired to pay attention to movement and change. When we focus on a stationary object, our brains gradually stop processing the visual information. It's like our brains are saying, "Nothing to see here, move along." Some illusions are so mind-bending that they seem impossible. The Penrose triangle is a perfect example. It's a triangle that appears to be three-dimensional, but it can't exist in real life. When you look at the Penrose triangle, your brain tries to make sense of the angles and lines. But the way they're drawn creates a paradox. The triangle appears to have three right angles, which is impossible for a triangle in Euclidean geometry. Our brains get stuck in a loop, trying to reconcile the impossible shape. The Penrose triangle shows how our brains strive for consistency and logic, even when faced with something that defies explanation. Section 6. Make your own illusion. It's magic. Ready to create your own optical illusion? This is a fun and fascinating way to explore the world of visual tricks and learn how our brains can be easily fooled by simple drawings. It's easier than you think. With just a few basic tools and a bit of creativity, you can create an illusion that will amaze your friends and family. All you need is a piece of paper, a pencil, and a ruler. These simple items are all it takes to get started on your magical journey into the world of optical illusions. First, draw 2 parallel lines on your paper, about an inch apart. Make sure they are straight and even, as this will be the foundation of your illusion. Next, on one end of the lines, draw 2 outward-pointing arrows, like the Muller-Lyer illusion. These arrows will play a crucial role in creating the visual trick. Then, on the other end of the lines, draw 2 inward-pointing arrows. This contrast between the arrows is what makes the illusion so effective and intriguing. Now, ask a friend to tell you which line appears longer. This is where the magic happens, as their perception will be challenged by the illusion you've created. Even though both lines are the same length, the one with inward-pointing arrows will likely appear shorter. This is due to the way our brains interpret the angles and lines. Congratulations! You've just created your very own optical illusion. Share it with others and watch their reactions as they try to figure out the trick behind the magic. Keep experimenting with different designs and see what other illusions you can create. Section 7. Animals see things differently. How cool is that? Did you know that animals experience the world differently than humans? It's truly fascinating how each species has developed unique ways to perceive their surroundings. Their eyes have evolved to suit their environments and lifestyles, leading to some fascinating visual adaptations. These adaptations help them survive, find food, and avoid predators. For example, dogs have dichromatic vision, which means they see the world in shades of blue and yellow. This is because they have only 2 types of color receptors, compared to the 3 that humans have. They can't see red or green, so a red toy on green grass might look like a blurry blob to a dog. Imagine trying to play fetch when you can't distinguish the toy from the grass. On the other hand, bees can see ultraviolet light, which is invisible to humans. This special ability helps them in their crucial role as pollinators. This allows them to see patterns on flowers that guide them to nectar. These UV patterns act like a map, showing bees exactly where to land to collect nectar and pollen. From the incredible night vision of owls, which allows them to hunt in almost complete darkness, to the polarized vision of cephalopods like squids and octopuses, the animal kingdom is full of amazing visual adaptations. Owls have large eyes and a high number of rod cells, which are sensitive to low light levels, making them excellent nocturnal hunters. Meanwhile, cephalopods can detect polarized light, which helps them see better underwater and communicate with each other through changes in their skin patterns. These unique visual abilities highlight the incredible diversity of life on Earth and remind us of the many ways animals have adapted to their environments. It's a testament to the wonders of evolution and the intricate ways in which life on our planet is interconnected. How cool is that? Section 8. Can you spot the illusion? Test your skills. Now it's time to put your illusion spotting skills to the test. Take a look at the image below and see if you can figure out what's going on. Do you see wavy lines? Believe it or not, the lines are perfectly straight. This illusion is known as the cafe wall illusion, and it's caused by the contrasting colors and the way our brains perceive the angles. Optical illusions remind us that our brains are constantly working to make sense of the world around us. Sometimes they take shortcuts that lead to some pretty amazing visual tricks. Section 9. Keep exploring the world of illusions. So there you have it, science fans. We've explored the fascinating world of optical illusions, from how they work to how they trick our brains. But this is just the beginning. There are countless optical illusions out there, each one offering a unique glimpse into the inner workings of our visual system. So keep your eyes peeled and your mind open. You never know when you might stumble upon the next mind-bending illusion. Remember, sometimes the most amazing discoveries are hiding in plain sight.